So we're making a 3D card, and so it opens up, and it also has this three-dimensional little basket right here. We've done this project before where it's like a mug of hot cocoa, but today we're going to do it as an Easter basket. And I drew all of these things on a piece of paper, cut them out, and glued them down. But if you want to just draw on it after you make the basket, you can do that too. Either way is fine. So for the next 4 Fridays, we're going to be doing a class like this live. Next week, Janelle's going to do something, and the week after that, I'll probably do something. And this is all leading up to the launch of our art club for kids, which is a virtual art club where there's going to be 3 pre-recorded lessons and a live lesson as well. Plus, you'll get to interact with us in a Facebook group and there'll be live Q&As. And so it's really great for kids who love art. They can't get enough. You know, maybe art class in school isn't quite enough. They want more. And, you know, it's an opportunity for them to do some art and maybe for parents to get something done at the same time while they watch the video and do the art. It's all going to be on a membership site. So you're not exposed to anything else. You're sort of in a safe place to take the classes. Or you do the projects together. So like tonight, you could be doing this with your whole family. Anyway, so that's opening April 21st. All right, so what I have here are 2 pieces of cardstock. I'm going to come up a little bit so you can see that better. 2 pieces of cardstock paper. Actually, let me just put a little something down so you can see it better. Okay. I have a ruler, but we could use a different kind of straight edge, whatever you have. I'm going to need to draw a couple lines. I have scissors. I have a glue stick. I have a pencil. And then I have a container filled with all different kinds of markers. I'm going to be using highlighter markers because they're nice and big. They're easy to use. And also you get fluorescent colors, which are great for spring. I'm using cardstock paper. It's thicker, but you can use copy paper or printer paper, whatever you have. You could use construction paper, but it would be good to use a lighter color so that you can see everything that you're going to do with this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold our piece of paper in half this way, short end to short end. I'm going to fold it over like this. And I'm going to crease it. Just move this so my light is a little bit better. It's something, there we go. That got rid of the shadow. All right, so I folded it over and this makes the card right there, okay? So now what I have to do is I'm gonna draw and cut 2 lines right here, okay? And I want them to be the same height and they're about a ½ inch from the edge. I'm not gonna measure that, but I am gonna use my ruler as a straight edge, okay? So I'll put this here for comparison, the finished card there. And I'll go up about, so I'm about a ½ inch in right here. And I'm gonna draw like that. If you're watching and you have any questions, just put them in there. Happy to stop and answer questions. And I'm just gonna eyeball it. Yep, about, maybe this is a little bit higher. So you want that to be the same height. That will make it look a little better when we're all done with this. So this project is good for 7 and up, but younger kids might need a little help with the assembly part of this project. But then after that, they should be fine. So now that I drew my 2 lines, I'm going to cut them. So I'm going to open up my card all the way like this and just cut along those lines. Like that. Okay, so we can fold this back up like this. All right, so now I need to take my second piece of cardstock paper that I have, and I want to cut the front of the basket. So the front of the basket is going to be as high as the lines that I cut, and then we'll figure out the width of it as we go. So I'm going to take my cardstock paper here And I'm just lining it up against there so that the top of my paper is where the top of my lines are. And I'm just going to put a little mark right there, how long that's going to be. And I'm going to take my scissors. Probably good to use a straight edge here so I don't make this crooked. I'm just going to draw a pencil line like that and cut this out. I don't need to go for the whole length of the paper. It doesn't need to be that long. So I would say, give yourself 6 or 7 inches of paper, and that should be good. Figure out how long I want this to be. Then I'm going to do the texture of the basket on here with markers, and then I'll attach it to the card. Okay, so we're not going to glue anything down yet. So first thing I want to do is turn it this way, and I'm just going to fold it over like this. Okay. And I'm just kind of testing how long I want this basket to be. So I'm going to slip this edge right underneath there. Slide it all the way up. Okay. And now this, I just have to figure out how long, approximately, oops, sorry. About how long I'm going to want this. How far do I want the basket to pop out from the card? Okay, so probably about this much. So if I want it to pop out that much, then, so it's going to stop about there, and I need a little bit to glue underneath. So you can see I made a little tick mark. That's up to the line where it's going to be inserted, and then I need a little extra paper. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this off. Like that, okay? And now I'm going to fold this in about the same amount. Okay, so I have a piece of cardstock paper that has these 2 tabs here. And those 2 tabs are going to go underneath these 2 slits that I just cut. And this will pop out a little bit from the surface of my card. Okay, so like I said, we're going to work on the texture of the basket. We're going to draw what the basket looks like on here. Of course, I don't want to draw on these 2 little tabs because we're going to be gluing those behind on the inside of the card. So I'm going to use some of these bright markers I have. I'm using highlighters, but of course you can use any color you want. And I'm going to use a brown. I'm thinking about those Easter baskets that are made out of plastic. They have some brown, but they also have lots of colors. So I'm just going to make some bands of color that go across. And of course, you could do this any way you want. You don't have to do it the way that I'm doing it. There are plenty of ways you can do this lesson. In fact, if you don't celebrate Easter, you could make and draw some flowers or something else that you would put in the basket, or you could just turn it into a mug and make some hot chocolate. So once you have the front of your basket made, you still have these 2 little tabs on the side right there. So those are going to go on the inside, and we'll glue those in there. So you're going to need a glue stick. I recommend you use that over white glue. You can use white glue, just don't use a whole lot. You only want to use a little bit. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put glue on 1 tab right now. Okay, I'm going to slip that right underneath here. Go over that. Make sure it's sticking. And then I'm going to put some glue on this tab right here. And I'm going to put that underneath. So I got the idea for this lesson from one of my students. We were making the hot chocolate card instead of a basket. We did the same exact thing, only we're making hot cocoa. And that's probably a few weeks ago, and she was really thinking about Easter. So she turned her mug into a basket, which is what gave me the idea for this project. So if she's watching, thank you. That's a good idea.